You moving to Iowa? Well, this is going to be the great Iowa vlog tour. We're going to show you everything about Iowa, so stick around as we get packed up. Alright, so here's the plan today, guys. We are starting in Davenport in eastern Iowa, and we're going to show you the entire state of Iowa. Well, most of the state. We can't show you everything, but we are spending the entire day going around, and we're going to go to Iowa City, head on up to Cedar Rapids, where a good buddy of mine who also happens to have a YouTube channel talking about living in the state of Iowa. We're going to talk to him about his local area. We're going to shoot on down to Des Moines. We may take a side quest there at the Amana Colonies. We'll see. You know, get a little crazy there. Possibly even a sunflower farm. We're not sure yet.
A sunflower farm.
But head on down there to Des Moines, talk to a good friend of mine down there who's also a real estate agent, and see what that area is like, what's the pros and cons of it. Then head on up to Ames, which is my alma mater as far as the university there. And then finally, head on over to western Iowa and show you the small towns over there and the Less Hills, which is an absolutely beautiful natural wonder. So we're gonna keep driving and you're gonna come along with us. Hi, Zoe. You going for a ride? Alright, so we just had to get some gas. Went to use the restroom. For your information, it's $3.89 here at the old Come and Go. Make fun of all you want about the name, but they are nice gas stations. This one, the sink, you can wash your hands, and then they had the old Dyson wind blowers in the actual sink, so it was pretty cool to see that. But yeah, $3.89 right here in Iowa, not too bad. Alright, so we've made it to Cedar Rapids in a lovely place, but I wanted to introduce you to a good friend of mine and YouTuber, and he actually is located here in Cedar Rapids. He has a YouTube channel called Living in Iowa, so check him out. But I wanted to stop here and talk to him about Cedar Rapids because he's located out of here. And welcome to the channel.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So where are we at right now? You obviously are more familiar to Cedar Rapids than I am, but where are we at currently?
So currently we're at Morgan Creek Park, which if you watch my videos, I am here almost every time. It's my favorite park. It's our family's favorite park. On the north side, you got a lot of trails and trees. On this side of the park where we're at is obviously the pavilion right behind us and the children's playground. It's a newer playground. It's been here for a couple of years, but people love it here and we do too.
Yeah, it's actually, you know, I'll have to show it to you, but it looked kind of like a space fort or something. It's kind of like crazy looking, but yeah,
definitely
it's
unique. Yep.
Yeah, it's really pretty cool. And you know, obviously your channel is Living in Iowa, so you kind of focus on Iowa, so we thought it was a good crossover. But you're located right here in Cedar Rapids, so what is driving people to make the move over here to Cedar Rapids versus some other places that people might be considering?
Yeah, so I would say, and you probably noticed from your channel, people reaching out to you as well, is affordability. I would say we're cheaper than most here in Cedar Rapids. I don't know what it's like in Davenport where you're at, but we're around $187,000 median home sale price according to Zillow.com. So affordability is definitely the #1 reason I see people coming here to Iowa. You do get higher end homes, especially like we talked about, Swisher Shoeyville just south of Cedar Rapids is the highest price homes in all the area. But there's affordability, there's nice homes, there's a good mixture of everything. There is a rental market here. Pretty much anything and everything here in Cedar Rapids is definitely on the board, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And do you get a lot of people talking to you about investing as well?
Yeah, there is a lot of investing here. There's people from out of state, out of country. We have Airbnb and also long-term rentals. But Cedar Rapids is over 70% owner occupied, which is really high, even according to the national average. And Iowa is higher than Des Moines and Iowa City. Iowa City is a big student body there with the University of Iowa, so they don't have near the home ownership. That's one thing that we do like about the area. We have a good mix of home ownership and rentals.
Yeah. No, it's really cool to see, and I think it's, you know, indicative of Cedar Rapids that you do see that a lot. Because like you said, Iowa City, a lot of rentals as far as students go. It's just a core of people that aren't owning homes necessarily. And in Des Moines, you're gonna get a lot more probably Airbnbs. We're actually gonna head over there and talk about that with another agent, but you know, it is indicative of Cedar Rapids that it is a lot of homeowners and it's affordable, which I know wherever you're coming from, it may be more affordable than where you're coming from. So it's a big bonus when you're talking about that sort of stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, no, that's really a great point. And, you know, just for a reference, I mean, Cedar Rapids, I think is the second largest city in Iowa. So it's not quite Des Moines, which we're heading to later, but, you know, it is a growing city, even compared to Davenport, which is where I'm at. We're not nearly as big as Cedar Rapids is. And, you know, it's a big decision to decide if you want to be in a bigger city or one of some of these smaller towns. But just because you're coming to the Cedar Rapids area doesn't mean that you necessarily got to live in Cedar Rapids. What are some other towns around that people like to move to around Cedar Rapids?
Well, obviously, not obviously, but people around here know Iowa City. Iowa City's 30 miles south of here, approximately. That's another big city here in Iowa, not the largest, but you also have to the north, Alburnett and Central City. Robbins, Hiawatha is another one on the north side. On the east side, you have Springville, and you go further, even Anamosa, Iowa. Mount Vernon, if you go south of southeast Cedar Rapids. You go south, you have Ely, Swisher, Shoeyville, and on the west side of Cedar Rapids, you have Palo and Fairfax and Belle Plaine, areas like that.
Yeah, so a lot of different choices, a lot of different sizes as far as towns go. I mean, you're naming off a whole bunch of them there, but definitely not just Cedar Rapids as that big metro area necessarily. But
and one thing to add, actually, I forgot to mention, because when you live here in Cedar Rapids, you kind of forget about it, but Marion is the biggest suburb of Cedar Rapids. I forgot to mention that. It's on the north, it's basically northeast Cedar Rapids, but most people around here don't even really see the cutoff line because there isn't one. So Marion's another area that I don't want to forget about.
Yeah, and the funny thing about Marion is my fiance, I don't know if you know it, but her name is Marion. So we actually stopped at Marion, took a picture next to the water tower. Wow. And the one we actually looked at is kind of a shorter one. And it says reach higher, which we thought was funny because my fiance is a little bit on the shorter side, and we still talk about it today. It's a really sweet little town up there, and they have a little short water tower for whatever reason. But I mean, you've been living in Cedar Rapids for a while. What is your favorite thing about living in Cedar Rapids versus other places?
Well, there's a lot of things to like, honestly. But the number one thing I'd have to say is the traffic for the size of city you get here in Cedar Rapids. Like he said, it is the number 2 largest city in Iowa. You can go anywhere in Cedar Rapids, and for the most part, maybe a stoplight or two, you gotta wait. But we were down in Texas recently, and we were in the San Antonio area, so we went through Dallas, Fort Worth. Terrible. I mean, people love it there, but it's not for anyone in Iowa that is used to the traffic. There's just not much traffic here. Overall, you'll get some, but it's not a regular thing.
Yeah, I think I find it's, you know, Davenport and Cedar Rapids and some of these towns in Iowa, you do get traffic usually around like the working time periods, people getting off work, going to work. But again, it's not that terrible. It's just something that happens and it goes away pretty quickly, which is really nice to see if you're thinking about making that move to Iowa. As far as recreational stuff, what kind of sort of things happen in Cedar Rapids that is maybe special to Cedar Rapids?
So Cedar Rapids is a really big biking community, bicycling, I mean. And so we have a trail called the Cedar Valley Trail. It goes all the way up to Waterloo, Cedar Falls area, and all the way south down to Iowa City. It's just a really popular bike trail. So if you like bicycling, definitely a great area. Another thing is obviously the Cedar River goes right through the center of Cedar Rapids. It makes for lots of parks. We have 97 parks according to the internet here, which is really nice. I mean, we're at my favorite one, like we mentioned before.
Wait, are you saying you haven't been to all of those parks yet?
Been to a lot of them because I've been here for 10 and a half years, and I grew up just a little bit east of here in Anamosa, but
fair enough.
There are a lot of parks, I can tell you that, and they're almost all of them are in good shape too.
Yeah, no, it's a cool thing. You know, Davenport, I think they have like 60 some parks, and yeah, you don't always get to go to every single one of them, especially when there's that many. and you just don't have the time
Yeah.
for the most part. But the ones that are here, sounds like, are really cool to partake in. And I mean, we're looking out, you know, past the camera here, and there's bike trails here, you know, riding trails. So obviously it's a great bike system, trail system here. So if you're active, it might be a really good option for you too. So one thing Tony was talking about is the bike trail, and we're actually on one right now. We're crossing what is this creek?
This is Morgan Creek.
Yeah, so, you know, it's pretty extensive bike trail system, and from the looks of it, it's really well kept. Is that pretty accurate here in Cedar Rapids?
Yeah, I mean, most of people take their parks real serious here in Cedar Rapids. We have 97 parks, so people love their parks, and Morgan Creek's no exception. They take great care of this park.
Yeah, and the things that I'm noticing is how well maintained it is, and the people are really friendly. We've had, 3 or 4 dogs walk by us already, and people have always said hi, so really cool to see the culture of the people too. And is that also pretty accurate, or is that not representative?
The number one thing I hear from past clients that have moved from a different place and relocated to Iowa in general, and definitely Cedar Rapids is Iowa nice. I know you know about it, but it's definitely true. It's one of the things that most people know, and you're just gonna love the people here. There are outliers, but people are nice here.
Yeah, I think that's very accurate for sure. But yeah, lovely little park here at Morgan Creek Park. That's where we came from. You can see the bridge is pretty nice here. Now, if somebody wants to find you, you know, you got your channel, living in Iowa. So if you see this video, go over, check his videos out. We cover a lot of the same sorts of stuff. He might say it differently, and we'd love to see in between platforms here. And leave comments too. So we're gonna call this the Great Iowa Vlog. Go see his channel, type in there the Great Iowa Vlog, and we'll see how many we get on his channel. But anyway, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for sharing about Cedar Rapids, and we'll continue on this vlog.
Yeah, enjoy the beautiful state of Iowa, guys.
There we go.
So something you'll find out if you're on one of these back highways is that there's something called the Iowa wave, where we just stick up our fingers. We have a car coming, we'll see if they do it. All right? They did it.
They did it.
That guy didn't. Motorcycles are different. I don't know. But that car definitely did it. So if you see it, just know it's just an Iowa thing. Or a Midwest. But definitely an Iowa thing.
Well, not your typical small town, but we made it here to Amana Colonies. I've been here before, but I think I was only like 4 or 5 years old. She recently was here, but we're gonna go take a look at the shops, at least the ones that will allow our dog around. Although there's probably none. Let's see what it's like here in Amana Colonies. So Marion recommends that I go into the International House of Christmas. She's been in there before, but I haven't been in there, so I'm gonna take a look. Although I gotta leave her outside because of my dog.
Because of Zoe.
Zoe the dog. Let's go see what it looks like. Well, that was a pretty crazy store there. You weren't kidding when they had a lot of Christmas. May not be Christmas yet, but definitely is in that store. What is that?
I think that's art. It's supposed to be.
Fair enough. So we're just leaving Amana Colonies, and the plan going forward here is we're actually gonna go to a sunflower field, although my fiance doesn't know it. And then we're gonna head on over to Des Moines, which is the state capital. So we'll see you at the sunflower field, if they still have sunflowers. It's a little late in the season, but then we'll head on over to Des Moines and meet up with my friend there in Des Moines and talk about what Des Moines has to offer if you're thinking about moving to Iowa.
So, how was the sunflower experience?
I messed up. Bentley, they're not open today. So I have a sad fiance on my hands. But there it is. It looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. On to the next stop. So right now we're actually headed to Des Moines, which is the capital of Iowa, and it's gonna be awesome, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. What do you think, Zoe? Well, I guess not everybody's as excited as I am about the state capital, but we're gonna go anyway. So here we go. So we made it to Des Moines, which is the state capital of Iowa, but not only that, we are actually on the state grounds of the Capitol building. As you can see behind me, it is a beautiful building made out of gold at the top, which is right here. They actually just refurbished it. You notice maybe on the side they got some scaffolding. They're actually refurbishing that side of things as we speak. But Des Moines is a wonderful area, and you know, I do want to give you guys an expert opinion. So I was gonna set up a meeting with a realtor here. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it, but we're gonna do an interview and we're gonna see that right now, what Des Moines is all about. So like I said, want to get an expert here in Des Moines. That's why I contacted Kelsey Welton. Obviously, we couldn't meet in person. She had a lot going on in her life, but I'm glad that she's here today. So how's it going, Kelsey?
It's so great to be here, and I appreciate you making this work, especially with all the technology. This is amazing. It's going fantastic. Super excited to talk to you about Des Moines today.
That's awesome. And you know, you're a busy realtor. That means that you know the city, and that's why I wanted to get you on here. So let's talk about Des Moines and the surrounding area. Obviously, Des Moines is the main city, but what else is around? Like, people think of Des Moines, it's the fastest growing city in Iowa. What else is around though? What's there to offer?
Yeah. Oh, I love that you say that, because people that are moving from out of state to come into Iowa always say, so Des Moines, what is it? Like, that's just a city, right? I've never even heard of it. People call it Des Moines, right? Des Moines is actually, it's comprised of so many suburbs. So when people tell me they want to move into Des Moines, I have to get really deep within there, because we have gorgeous suburbs like Ankeny, West Des Moines. Those are on the west side and the north side. We have Norwalk on the south side. And then we have gorgeous areas on the east side as well of Des Moines, of all these little suburbs that have so much going on. And Des Moines is supposed to get to over 1 million people by 2030. So expansion is insane. But one of the best things that I promote about Des Moines is that we are still approximately, the last statistic I looked up was 15% lower in prices than the average in America. So we're still super affordable, and yet we are the small, big city, if you will.
Yeah, it's always interesting. You talk about Iowa cities, you know, we're less than 1 million people, even though Des Moines in the metro area is actually the largest city in Iowa, which is crazy to think about. For some people, that's just like a neighborhood. Well, not neighborhood, but you understand the idea. So it's really cool to see that Des Moines is expanding so quickly, and to see all the development going around. And then speaking of like development, what developments are going on, not only houses, but entertainment venues. What's really talked about right now in the city?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the biggest things being talked about right now in West Des Moines, so in the western suburbs, you guys can look it up. It's awesome. It's called the Grand Experience. It's going to be this giant, 230-acre property. It's going to have 12,000 square feet of businesses, and it's going to have a giant indoor water park. I know my family's really looking forward to that, and a lot of people in the western suburbs. And what's great in Des Moines, because we are a big city that's still small, feels small, you can get to West Des Moines from the east side of Des Moines within, no traffic or less traffic than most big cities. It'll only take you maybe 25, 30 minutes to be able to get to that side via the highway that you can go on something like the Grand Experience. Up north, we have Ankeny, which Ankeny is expanding like crazy. I believe that it's one of the fastest growing cities in the Midwest, which is super cool. And they have a whole new area within that has restaurants and a lake that you can overlook and eat some great food. I will tell you, when I moved here from Kansas City a while ago, but I moved here from Kansas City and I kept thinking, Kansas City has such a good food scene. And now I'm moving to Des Moines, Iowa. And surprisingly, it is such a great food scene here too. The restaurants are coming in, small business owners, and we have some really excellent food.
Yeah. My brother actually lives in Ankeny. He took us over to a restaurant called Wasabi, and it was really good for sushi.
Sushi. Oh, yep. They have one of the best ginger dressings that I've ever tasted. And I know we've talked about this before. I brag that I've been to 28 countries, but that ginger dressing, I don't think I've had a ginger dressing that good. But yeah, we have some great downtown restaurants. And even if you're not for downtown traffic or you don't want the paid parking, we have some excellent ones in the outer suburbs too from great business owners. So it would be something that I love to give to my clients as well. When they move in, I'll give you a list of food places.
Absolutely. That's a great resource too, to have that when you move in, because you don't know what you don't know. And it's cool to see that. But, you touched on this a little bit. You talked about cost of living. You're a realtor, obviously. What is like the average or the median home price in the city of Des Moines?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we're talking in the actual city of Des Moines itself, Des Moines is going to be a little bit less expensive depending on where you are. So if we're talking like a lot of people like Southwest Des Moines, so you're within like the Valley Junction area, you're looking at maybe 180 to 250,000, depending on what you want within your house. Now, if we're going into the western suburbs where that Grand Experience is coming in, our prices get a little higher. I would say in the western suburbs, we're looking in the 300,000 price point, potentially even more if you're looking for a starter home. But our prices can go all the way up, right, to some of those luxury properties. When we get over to the eastern suburbs and a little bit more into the like northeastern, I love this area because homes are still so affordable because Des Moines has focused so much on moving west that now the east is just getting developed, but home prices are still low. So I'm super excited when people say that they're willing to look in the eastern sides, because we're looking maybe 200 to 250, and you can get some really nice properties within that area. Now, again, it does depend on what you're looking for. If you're looking for 20 acres on a nice home, you're probably not going to get that for 200,000. But a starter home, I'd say 1,500 square feet, up and down if you did a 2-story with, basic amenities in a nice neighborhood on that east side, you're probably looking around that 250 mark, which is excellent. Yeah,
that's my opinion too. I mean, Iowa, we're really well known for being, affordable compared to a lot of these other states. And that's why people decide to move to Iowa. So it's cool to see even in our largest city, it's still relatively affordable, especially when you compare it to other cities around the nation. It's cool to see. But obviously, once you live there, there's things to do, specifically, we've talked about it before. The farmers market in downtown Des Moines is awesome. I know you take your dogs there, and recently you've had some kids come in. So tell me about the stuff that you can do in downtown Des Moines and maybe some surrounding areas. You touched on it a little bit with the experience, but what other things are going on?
Yeah. Oh, I love that you say that, because again, for people that have lived in other places, they hear about Des Moines and they don't realize how amazing it is. Even my own family, we have the farmers market. it's the second largest farmers market in America. And I think a lot of people think, oh, farmers market, I'm going to go down there, I'm going to get some vegetables. It's unlike anything you've seen. It spans about 8 to 10 city blocks and then goes off the edges too. And they have vendors from craft vendors. They have, wine and spirits. They have food from local places that will come in. I even know a good friend of mine. She has an excellent restaurant and she started at the farmer's market. She started making her food at the farmer's market and then went storefront with her restaurant. Obviously, then there still is Iowa farmers with vegetables. So it is an experience unlike any other, and it is packed. Every Saturday, you have a lot of people. So it's also an entertainment value too. I know, just like you said, my dogs and my kids, they love it. It's entertainment on a Saturday morning. But we also, we have festivals that come in here. We just had the World Food Fest that also spans about 5 to 8 city blocks too, where you can go and try foods from all different cultures around the world. Super great. You hear music. They have performances. We just went to recently a car show. They have tons of car shows that come on in. That's my husband's vibe, but yeah. There are so many big things coming to Des Moines, and every single weekend we have something cool to be able to experience for all different types of people, single families. I've even had some for older generations coming in that they have lots of different festivals for them too.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. And that's one thing I hear a lot is that people don't feel like there's enough to do in Iowa. But if you're looking for it, you can usually find, especially in Des Moines and surrounding areas. So it's cool to hear that. Now, if somebody's moving to Des Moines, obviously you're a wealth of knowledge. Where can somebody find you on social media when it comes to that?
Yeah. Oh, thank you for the compliment. Yeah, I try my best. And also I know that you too, Alex, we love to be resources for everybody. So I tell my clients, not only if you want to purchase a house, that's great. If you just want to use me as a resource, that's great too. If you're just like, Kelsey, what's going on in Des Moines? I probably have heard about it. So I'll let you know. But best places to reach me would be on social media or via my phone number or email. But social media, I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. Those are my two main ones because I do try to focus as much as I can on my clients. So social media gets a little tough at times. But it's weltzinerealestate.com is my website. But again, so facebook.com/weltzinerealestate or Instagram, Weltzine Real Estate. Yeah, I'd love to connect and be able to talk to people.
Awesome. And if you guys found her on this video, go in our comments and stop in great Iowa vlog. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, because I would love to see everybody. And again, just to connect, just like Alex, I love to connect with people.
Well, awesome. Well, I got more driving to do, but thank you for letting us know what Des Moines is all about, and we'll see you later.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
I hope you really enjoyed that interview. It is very insightful on what Des Moines actually is like to live. Obviously, there's different areas of Des Moines, not just the state capital itself, and it's a really nice place. And a lot of people are moving here all the time. It actually is the fastest growing city in the state of Iowa. So a lot of people are really liking it here. They have job opportunities abundant everywhere. They have tech jobs, agricultural jobs, insurance jobs, really cool opportunities right here in Iowa and specifically Des Moines, which is where we're at currently. Now, if Des Moines is too large for you, well, wait till you see what we have for Western Iowa, which is actually where we're headed next. So come along with me as we hit Western Iowa and what it's like over there. And it is a little close to my heart because that's where I grew up. So I can't wait to show you my hometown, where I grew up, but it's getting late. So let's head on over and see what Western Iowa has to hold. So we made it to Ames, one of the best, at least in my opinion, cities in the state of Iowa. As you can see, the Campaniles behind me, we are on the Iowa State campus. Go Cyclones. And it's one of the best. And the thing that's really interesting about the city of Ames is it is a quintessential. It is a quintessential college town, as in when the college students, when college students leave for the summer, it takes almost half the population of Ames with it. So if you're gonna be moving to Ames, it's gonna be something to think about because it is such a heavy college town, but it's an amazing campus. It is absolutely beautiful, especially in the fall time, which we're heading into right now. The trees in the back will all turn bright orange or yellow or whatever color they decide to be, and it's just absolutely amazing. So check out Ames with me as we go on a drive.
I love you. You're such a sweet soul. I love her.
Bye, Zoe. You're so
Bye,
cute.
Zoe, baby. I miss you. See, I didn't get to see my dog this weekend, so
Oh, yeah.
that's what it is. Yes.
Yeah.
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 So we needed.
Zoe, I needed you.
Bye, pretty girl. Go get all the pets. Bye.
Have a good day.
See you later. So one thing I really love about Iowa is the beautiful sunsets that you get. Just take a look. You got that farm ground, the corn. All right, guys, so we made it to our destination, but it's dark out. So we're gonna go to bed and we'll see you in the morning and show you Western Iowa. All right, let's hit it. All right, good morning. So we got our rest in, and it's a little bit of a foggy morning here in Western Iowa, but we're gonna get out. Hopefully the fog burns off here so we can have a chance to show you what Western Iowa looks like. But for now, we're gonna go for a walk, get some breakfast, and then hit the road again, show you what it's all about here in Western Iowa and all the small towns that are around. Western Iowa is absolutely beautiful, and I do know every nook and cranny around here because I did grow up in this area, and that's why people call me, even if it isn't in Eastern Iowa where I live now. So my number is popping up down below, and if you have any questions about moving to Western Iowa, Eastern Iowa, Central Iowa, give me a call. I can help answer any of those questions that you might have. So let me know. So the fog has burned off. We're getting started on our tour of Western Iowa, and I am in the town of Logan, Iowa. And Logan, Iowa is a very quintessential small town here in the state, over here in Western Iowa, just nestled in the Loess Hills. You know, they have a Superfoods, which is the grocery store. They have a school, which is a consolidated school. And a lot of small towns do have consolidated schools. This one in particular is consolidated with Magnolia, Iowa, which is just down the road. They have a bank, they have a pharmacy, a couple different gas stations. And I can talk about this because this is actually the town that I grew up in. So I know this town like the back of my hand. Only about 1,500 people live here. And a lot of people that I knew growing up are still living here. You know, a lot of people want to ask, is a small town for me? Is it not? Well, if you like a great community, small towns are an awesome choice when it comes to that. And they have a little bit of everything a lot of times. Like I said, the pharmacy, the grocery store, gas stations, but they're not gonna have a lot of the big box stores. And that's very much the case with Logan here along Highway 30, nestled in right with the Loess Hills. But it's a beautiful area. It's a great place to raise a family. As I can tell, I was raised here and I don't regret any minute of it when I was coming here. But you know, on the agenda today, we're actually going to go over to Nebraska for a quick second, although I don't know if you're going to see a lot of that. And then we're going to head on over into the actual Loess Hills, which Logan's right next to, but we're going to go and see what they call Small's Fruit Farm, which is an apple orchard, pumpkin patch, all sorts of different things going on over there. And then we're going to see a lookout point of the Loess Hills and just see how beautiful the hills are. So let's hit it. So one of the best things about Western Iowa is living in the Les Hills, which is awesome. And nestled in the Les Hills is actually the smallest fruit farm, just off of the highway, beautiful little area. We're gonna go pick some apples and we'll show you the results after this. So at Smallest Fruit Farm, you can actually pick your own apples and get these. I did pay for this. It's pretty good. So many varieties out here. Really awesome. If you come to Western Iowa, come check out Smallest Fruit Farm. Pretty cool place. Not only can you get apples at Smallest Fruit Farm, they also have pick your own pumpkins. So great fall activity. Highly recommend it. So one super unique thing about the Les Hills is, as you can see here, the dirt here usually has to be cut vertically because it erodes faster if it's cut at an angle. So once in a while you come across a road like this where it's vertical on both sides, and it's really kind of an interesting quirk about living in the Les Hills in Western Iowa because you don't see this all the time. It's pretty interesting.
Did you take a picture?
No, I'm taking a video. You should gonna be YouTube famous. So Western Iowa is known for its Les Hills. And yes, it's called Les, like bus. So don't get that confused, but they are absolutely beautiful. And people love moving here because of this beautiful vistas. And if you're moving to Iowa, don't let anybody tell you that it's completely flat, because we are right in Iowa and these hills are massive. If you want to drive a bike around here, you're gonna know it is not flat. And like I said, it's just absolutely beautiful. The thing I will say about Western Iowa is there's a lot more small towns around. There is some larger cities. You got Sioux City up north, you got Council Bluffs in the south central area. And you know, it's not too bad, but you're gonna find a lot more smaller towns in this area and a lot more public land that you can actually go on, which is where we're at right now in the Les Hills State Park. So if you like being able to get out into a forest like this, which is what I personally like, and this is where I grew up, you're gonna wanna look in Western Iowa because it is amazing as far as the public land around here. So this is Western Iowa, and I hope you enjoyed our tour, our full vlog tour of the state of Iowa. As you can tell, I do know a lot about the state, and if I don't, I can find somebody that does. But if you want to know about Western Iowa, Central Iowa, Eastern Iowa, give me a call, send me a text. I would love to help you with any questions that you might have. But that's our vlog tour, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to know more about what it's like living in the state of Iowa, well, check out this video right here.